Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Waheguru, we're so very blessed to have this opportunity to have Sangat, to take some steps towards connecting with our true selves and with our source, our true mother and father, Akal Purkh, Waheguru, the creator and sustainer of everything, the giver of breath. And so we're going to spend the next 45 minutes to an hour bringing our fragmented attention, our surti, which escapes all day, out of the 9 doors of the body, the eyes, the ears, the mouth, and below. And what we're going to do is use the Gur Mantar, simran, to try and bring our surti into the body and explore the internal game, to journey inwards, to discover what is it that resides within the body, who is it that resides within the body. Gurbani tells us, Gurmukh hove, so kaya khojai, that the Gurmukh is the one that does khoj of the body. And so this is what Gurbani tells us, that is dehi andar naam nivasi, that within this body, and that naam takes us back to our true source. And we can experience that within this lifetime. And actually it's our purpose to do so. But in order to do that, in order to begin this internal journey, we have to bring that fragmented surti, that attention that is constantly within the realm of thought, past, future, judgments, hatred, duality, hopes, wishes, desires. And the mind doesn't let go of these things, remains trapped within this web of Maya all day long. And so never gets to really explore that internal journey, doesn't get to go on that internal journey and explore the true self and what lies within. No daratake tavat rahai. That if we can close the 9 doors of the body, dasame nij karvasa pai, that the mind can start to reside in the dasam door, in the 10th door, the 10th gate of the body, which is where we could call it the realm of the divine, of Vaheguru, where we are connecting back to our source, which is the purpose of our life. We spend our lives feeling a sense of lack, feeling a sense of confusion about why we're here. And Gurbani tells us, Pei Prapat Manuk Dehuriya, Gobind Milan ki eh teri bariya. that as we walk this path of spirituality and we take on a guru, a spiritual teacher, in our case, Dhantan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, we begin to learn what the true purpose of our life is, which is to meet the divine from where we came and where we will eventually return back to once our time on this earth, once our time in these different forms is over. And if we can do this whilst we are living, if we can connect back to the source, then the doubt, the confusion, that feeling of lack, all of that becomes irrelevant. It goes away because we start to experience that connection with everything, everyone, and we never have to feel separate, a sense of separation again. So let us take this time, begin to start off by just getting ourselves into a comfortable position, ready to pay attention. And we're going to start by just tuning into that flow of breath, tuning into that breath as we inhale and as we exhale. That breath that is always with us, that keeps us alive, but often goes unnoticed. Just noticing how the breath feels as it flows through the body. Perhaps you're aware of the chest rising and falling, or the feeling of the breath as it flows through the nostrils. Just taking a few moments to connect to the breath. Noticing thoughts that arise and just gently bringing your awareness back to that flow of breath. Just training the mind to come back again and again. The mind will naturally wander into thought. The mind habitually does this. But we're coming here today together to start teaching the mind that there is an alternative to being in thoughts all day long. That there's a place where the mind can sit, where it can experience a stillness, a distance from the thoughts, and an experience of peace. Bringing the mind back again and again when it wanders away into thought, without judgment. Bringing the mind back without judgment. And now we're going to use the Gur Mantar to center our awareness, and we're going to use the technique of Saskira Simran. We're going to chant Vahe and Guru, and crucially, we're going to engage our senses into the process. So as we chant with the tongue, we listen to the sound of the mantra with the ears. Sravani Suniya, Rasana Gaya. So whenever the mind wanders away, we're going to use the sound as the anchor and bring the mind back to the sound again and again. And in the same way that we've just been practicing, that mind will go into thoughts inevitably. And we want to, without judgment, just gently coax the mind back and encourage the mind, instruct the mind to listen, to go so deeply into the listening that everything else is forgotten, that all the mind is doing is engaging itself fully in the listening of the Gur Mantra. And in that way, the mind is becoming cleansed. Man tovo shabd lagu. Through attaching to the Shabad, to the Gur Mantra, the mind becomes cleansed of all of that subconscious programming, all of those habitual ways of being, living, that are deep within our subconscious. This is how we wipe away that slate. This is how we step into a new version of ourselves, by cleansing away some of those old ways of being, beliefs, emotions, habits. Gurbani tells us, Janam janam ko isko mal lagi, kala hoa seal, that it's not just the mal that has accumulated in this lifetime, but for many, many before as well. So let us begin chanting and listening, bringing the mind back again and again. Why Guru, 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 Guru, why 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 Why Guru, 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 Guru, why 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 Guru, Waheguru, 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 Guru, Waheguru, 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 Guru, Why, 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 Guru, Guru, Why, Guru, Why, Guru, Why, Guru, Why, Guru, Why, Guru, Guru, Why, 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 Guru. Continuing to chant internally with the mind. It takes time for the mind to settle. So as we continue with the simran, we're going to do some more in a moment. But I just wanted to break to just check in. Is everybody still present? Is the mind listening to the Shabad? Or has the mind gone off into thoughts? So we want to be checking in again and again. Is the mind listening now? Is the mind listening now? Or has the mind gone off? And just we want to gently bring the mind back again and again. And that is the practice, that is the process of the Simran, just bringing the mind back. And as the mind gets better and better at coming back, then it starts to experience that presence, that sense of truly listening and being immersed in the sound of the Shabad, being truly awake rather than asleep in thoughts. So as we chant, Vaheguru, really intentionally chanting and really checking in every so often, is the mind still here? Is the mind still present? If the mind is present, then the work is being done. If the mind is absent, then there's not really any simran happening. The mind isn't being washed. The thing that was meant to be cleansed is not here. So in order for the mind to be cleansed of all of that subconscious stuff that resides within the subconscious mind, those old habits and beliefs and emotions and thoughts that take up so much of our headspace, our energy, and keep us away from our true source. If we can start to allow the mind to be present, that is when the cleansing is happening. And it might be that we come into presence for just a few moments at first, and gradually as we practice, the mind will become present more and more and for longer and longer periods. And when that starts to happen, that is when we really start to experience that sense of stillness and presence and awakeness and that peace that Gurbani tells us that we can access. So let us go again and again, chanting, Sravani Suniya, listening with the ears, Rasana Gaya, chanting with the tongue, Hirda Tyaya Sui, and in this way enshrining within the heart. So let us go again. Why, Guru, why, Guru, why, Guru, why, Guru, why, Guru, why, really immersing the mind in the sound. Why, Guru, why, Guru, as if the sound is the only thing that matters right now. Why, Guru, why, Guru, why, Guru, why, merging the mind into the sound as if it's only the sound that exists. Why, Guru, 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 Guru, Why, 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 Guru, Guru, Why, 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 Guru, Guru, Why, 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 Guru, Waheguru, 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 Guru, Waheguru, 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 Guru, Waheguru, 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 Waheguru. Staying tuned in to the Shabad, to the mantra. Waheguru, Waheguru, Waheguru. The mind wanders, listening even more intently to the sound. Waheguru, Waheguru. Immersing the mind in the sound. Waheguru, 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 Why Guru, 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 why Guru. Chanting internally, Vahe as you breathe in, Guru as you breathe out, following the natural flow of breath. Just saying Vahe in your mind as you breathe in, and as you naturally breathe out, saying Guru. Noticing that when the mind is present, whether it's tuned into the mantra or the breath, that there's a feeling of stillness, of peace. Gurbani tells us, Simro, Simar, Simar, Sukha Pavo. But as we chant, as we do the Simran again and again and again, not just once, but again and again, then we can experience peace. And that conflict, Gal Kalesh, Dana Mahe Mitavo, that conflict in the mind and the body disintegrates, is eradicated through the Simran. And as we practice more and more, we will find that those moments of peace and stillness grow. And we can tap into that as well in our day-to-day, just simply by coming back to the breath or chanting the mantra at various points within the day. Being able to tap into that sense of peace, that stillness, that divinity, within us, allowing us to have greater clarity, access a deep wisdom at any time that we want to, at any time that we need to. So we've come to the end of the Simran session today. We're very, very fortunate to have been able to come together to do this work, this inner work that we often don't make time for. That often we're walking around in the illusion that the only purpose of our life is to achieve more, to earn more, to do more, to have more, and to break away from that and to begin to explore a different dimension to our lives. We are very blessed and fortunate to be able to do this. So please forgive any mistakes and join again next week at the same time, on the same day, Thursdays 8:30. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.